Well, this is not quite the same weather that we had when we had the groundbreaking back in July the 9th in 2015. I see a lot of familiar faces, but I want to welcome you all to something that is a promise kept, a vision realized, and something we did we call a faith walk. Welcome to ThePad on Harvard. And I'm reminded of a conversation I would have with my partner and friend when we would always have a up or down as we were putting this deal together starting in April of 2014. And what we would say, and I would say it really, because Romel was a little what we would say is that I can, I will, we must. And that was kind of I can and I will was kind of a positive affirmation for us to keep going. But the we must was for the people of College Park, because this is a great city with great assets. And somebody must show them the due respect that they deserve. So this building for you is for you, College Park. And I'm glad to have my partner, Romel, my partner, Jerome, and Michael, to finally give you something that you can be proud of. With that, I'd like to have the invocation from Reverend Katie Hinman, who I have to add is the only rolling pastor I know. And she'll tell you some more about that when she comes up.
Well, I hadn't been planning on telling you more about that, but I guess I have to. My name is Katie Hinman, and I'm the pastor of College Park First United Methodist Church right across the street here. I have skated for 9 years with the Atlanta Roller Girls roller derby, so that's where the rolling comes in. But mostly I'm here because we are so delighted to be welcoming new people and new families into this community. We are looking forward to being a home for people in this community. And hope that some of them will come across the street to the church, but even if they don't, we look forward to being a home for them in whatever way we can. One of the ways that we are welcoming folks to this community is we're bringing them some coffee mugs. We're working with a couple of the people in the businesses in the community to welcome them in that way. Now, I'm afraid I didn't let you know that I was going to do this. There is a tradition in the church called chalking the door. And usually this happens at Epiphany, which is the celebration of when the three magi came to visit the baby Jesus. And they came to the door of his home. And so traditionally, around the beginning of January, churches will bless homes and buildings with a remembrance of that. And often they will do it by writing on the door with chalk. And it's chalk, so it won't be permanent. But it's also a way of dedicating and blessing a building where people are living. And this is the perfect time of year to do it. We're a little bit early for the Magi, but if you'll bear with me for just a moment, I'm just going to step right out here. And when you come out later, you will see it's the letters CMB, which stand for the traditional names that were given the Magi, Caspar, Melchior, and Balthazar. And it will also have the date, 2016, of the blessing. So if you'll bear with me for just one moment, I'll be right back. And now, as we begin the dedication of this space, let us pray. We give thanks for all the hands who worked to build this building, for their skill and their labor, for their vision and their work. We give thanks for all of those who have guided and enabled this project. O God of light, bless these homes and all who will live in them. May this be a place of peace and health. May each member of these families cultivate the gifts and graces they have been given, dedicating their talents and works for the good of all. Make this building a shelter in the storm and a haven of rest for those who live here. May those who live here and all who come to visit, to work, and to play be blessed. And may all who come and go here find peace, comfort, joy, hope, love, and home. Amen.
Amen. Reverend Katie, you can roll with me any day. You know, you have to, when you do these projects, you have to have a team. But more than a team, you have to have partners. But you can't have partners if you don't have a shared vision. The man who I'm about to bring up now has worked with me since 2011, and he's drinking the Kool-Aid of TOD. And he has, what can I say? He has shared a vision and showed tremendous faith, commitment, and desire, working. We tell everybody we're the 24-hour team. I get up at 5:30 and work till about 9:30. He works from 9:30 till about 4:30. I want to bring up my partner, who I couldn't have done this without, Romel Canete.
First of all, I'd like to thank Rod for his vision. I think without such, I don't think this would have been possible. It just one moment when he actually saw the space, we were walking back and forth, working with FAA, and he said, do you want to build something here? And I said, sure. I'm more on the finance side. He said, are we going to make money from here? Rod's response was, I need something to build for the community. And that actually struck me as like, ooh, I'm from New York, money is almost everything, but really it's not. So I'm very pleased that I have a partner who's got a vision, a heart, and a compassion. And I think what we build here is actually a testimony of that feeling. And I thank him for that. Thank you. I forgot to mention the most important thing. In going through this whole effort of building this, we can't thank enough the local officials who have been so supportive. And I think I've worked with other communities, but I cannot see how supportive the people are here in working together as a community. And I guess that's the reason why I think this place will succeed. And I thank you again, Mayor and Terrence and the rest of the City Council. Thank you very much for the support.
It was a true partnership all the way through. And I want everybody to know that without the dedication and bringing investors from all over the world here and sharing the vision with them, it was something amazing, and Romel led that effort. Next, I want to talk to you about a experience I had where I you have something in you, but you don't know how to get it out. And so I was fortunate enough to go to an advanced management development program at Harvard at the Graduate School of Design, because I knew I wanted to be a developer, but I didn't know how to do it. And so at that time, I got an opportunity to really learn for the guy who wrote the book on how to be a professional real estate developer, published by ULI. He is a person who is a author on several books. He is a lecturer, teaches all over the world from Cambridge to USC to Harvard, obviously. And he's also, more importantly, a practitioner, starting his career out at Hines as a developer, building houses, large scale. And then finally, as you know, he started to take less risk, becoming a fund manager, running a fund for $500 million, doing acquisitions in China and grinding that down very successfully, prior to the crash, by the way, and doing another fund for $100 million. I want everyone to know that you see this building. I got my financial analysis tools and techniques from this man. I learned discipline and vision from this man, and the strategy of speed is something that we learn to respect the cycles. I want to bring up someone who's talked about Aerotropolis and housing and transit for the last 30 years. My lecturer and the founder of the program at Harvard Graduate School of Design, AMDP, the Michael D. Spears Professor of Real Estate Development, Dr. Richard Pizer.
Well, it's a real honor for me to be here. I think probably anybody who teaches, the best days of your lives are when you have students who do well, and this is an exciting occasion, and it brings me back to when I opened my first apartment building, and we didn't have nearly as distinguished a group, so it does take a village to grow an apartment project and to create the kind of community that is here. But well, there are many things that I'm very proud of. I think Rod totally exemplifies the best of the people who should be creating the built environment. These are the developers of the future. This is a wonderful first project. As you walk around it, I just want you to notice the attention to detail. I mean, it's the difference between somebody who's in it just to make money versus somebody who really is thinking about it from the people's perspective, or the people who are going to live here. What is going to make the best possible environment. You will just love the loft on the top floor. The room we're in, this would be as great a common room of the finest apartments in the country. And also the vision that it's not just this single project, but the fact that it's part of a very important economic force. And I have to confess, even though I've been doing some research around Aerotropolises for many years, and I'm good friends with Jack Casarda, who was, I think, one of the people who invented the term. It was eye-opening this morning to see how much is going on. And I think it's a tribute to the people here. I can't wait to come back 10 years from now and see what the community will be. But I congratulate you. It's a privilege for me to be here, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm especially proud to have Rick. We call him Rick because we were at ULI, and I said, just on a whim, would you like to come in Dallas in October? And he said, yeah. To my surprise, he said, yeah. He said, I'm going to be coming from Laguna Beach on my way back to Boston because I have finals at Harvard, but I'll stop over for a day if you can have it on the 13th. And so I said, well, but I said, my mother's birthday's on the 12th, and it was scheduled for the 12th, but I tell you what we'll do is we'll have dinner for my mother on the 12th, and we'll have the event on the 13th. With that, I'd like to bring up the anchor, in my opinion, to this community. The mayor and council, you provide day-to-day leadership, but this community has been held together for over 100 years by an institution that has evolved over the time. And we're blessed to have this institution in here, and it's a big draw for our investors to come in and continue to do work in here. And it got even better this year. The institution leader was named the top CEO in the region earlier this year. And it's a testament to College Park that we have that level of leadership with the mayor and council and Terrence, your team. But we also have in the public sector and the private sector great leaders. I'd like to bring up one of the greatest leaders in the region, Dr. Stuart Gully, the president of Woodward Academy.
Thank you very much, Rod. I was elected president of Woodward Academy in mid-October of 2008. The next week, the stock market went in the tank. I wondered if I was making the right decision relocating my family to College Park, and I suspect the folks at Woodward were wondering if they'd made the right choice in selecting me as president. Housing stock in the area for where my family might live in proximity to the campus was very limited. The College Park First United Methodist Church, where my family and I proudly claim our membership, had recently been visited by the district superintendent of this area to say that if we did not start paying our apportionments to the annual conference, we were going to lose our full-time minister and be getting a part-time minister. The construction of Hotel Indigo was stopped in its tracks. There was a concrete shell out here that we endured for several years. There was a sense of depression and malaise in this community. We wondered if there were going to be happier days and if this area would really take off in the way that we all believed that there was potential. Well, fortunately, we have a mayor and council in College Park and a city staff that is deeply committed to its citizens and to progress. And against some objections to tearing down all the beautiful trees that were in this area, they made the difficult choice, but the wise and right one, to allow the rezoning to occur that would allow this place to be built. Fortunately, we had people like Rod, who is a man, if nothing else, is tenacious. Investors like the Russell family, who mean so much to Atlanta and to Woodward Academy, and other investors who are in this room, who saw potential and who saw that a place like this might attract young people to the area and help revitalize a community. Many of us in this room had just come from a 2-hour meeting celebrating the accomplishments of the Erythropolis and its potential. And I think that if anyone felt malaise several years ago, we are all now very excited about the potential that we believe that this region possesses. So it may not be sunshine outside. It may not be as hot as it was when we broke ground out here several years ago. But nothing can dampen our spirits with the excitement that I believe that the opening of ThePad on Harvard presents to College Park. So my thanks, Rod, to you and to your entire team for making this possible, and you can count on Woodward Academy being a partner with you in the days and years ahead. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm deeply honored to be able to work with one of the finest institutions in the city like Woodward Academy. I'm deeply honored to have all of you guys here with us. But I've also collected a lot of friends along the way. And one of those friends, and you collect friends based upon not the good times, but the bad times. And when you have to have tough conversations. And one of those friends that we collected was Michael Smith over at the airport. He's the deputy general manager. And Michael had a long relationship with someone who was my mentor, Oliver Lee, and that was something we had in common. But Michael is going to protect the interests of the airport. He has a fiduciary responsibility to protect the interests of the airport. But one of the spirits that we brought to the table is that we wanted to have a spirit of collaboration, cooperation, because this area, this city, this region's not going to move forward without us being aligned and moving in the same direction and finding the common threads and the shared vision that we can agree on. We're going to have differences, but we're going to find some things that we're going to agree on, and we're going to make it good for everybody. And the person and Michael Smith, he has the ability to say, okay, we can't go here, but we can go here. And he's done that, and he is a bigger part of us working through some challenges to get our financing than anybody in this room. Michael, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Rod. Dr. Gully said you were tenacious. I will say he is persistent. Every time I looked, if I wasn't in my office, I had a phone message from Rod or email to call Rod. But we did have to work through some issues, and as he said, we became good friends in the process. It was a pleasure, working with somebody with a high degree of integrity, with he and his organization, and I really do appreciate that. To the mayor, College Park, Melangelo, to the council members, and to all the distinguished guests. On behalf of Mayor Kasim Reed and our soon-to-be general manager and no longer interim general manager, Roosevelt Council, I want to say good morning to you all. We are delighted to be here and be a part of this ceremony. All of us are excited to welcome this new multifamily residence development to the area. I think it's the first one in 40 years. Not only does this bring upscale housing close to the world's busiest and most efficient airport, but this first major project to be completed since the formation of the Atlanta Aerotropolis Alliance. This initiative will promote and reinforce the idea that the airport area is a live, work, and play destination that will help to keep the airport-generated dollars in the airport community. Much has been said about the role that the airport plays as a catalyst for economic development. It's a role Hartsfield-Jackson is proud to play. Beyond being a major player in the global transportation network, this airport serves as the community's chief economic development tool for the creation of jobs and growth of wealth for its residents. More than 63,000 people work at Hartsfield-Jackson, and hundreds of thousands of additional jobs are made possible as a result of the airport. As those numbers grow, so too will the need to provide vibrant, high-quality housing, not just for the airport team members, but for local professionals as well throughout this region. Given that these apartments are just 400 feet from College Park Marta Station and 5 minutes from the airport, we expect a number of residents will want to call this beautiful development their home. And this is just the beginning. This is the first phase of 4 phases of mixed-use development at the site. By providing this impressive residential space and eventually attractive office and retail.
Hotel.
Hotel, okay, that's what we decided on. The pad on Harvard is just what this area needs to help accommodate the growth of the community. And as we've seen with Portia North America, this is an area that is ready, willing to support local business. So again, on behalf of the airport community, all of the members and stakeholders, we say congratulations to all of the partners of this development and welcome to the area.
We can't be stopped if we work together. The airport, Aerotropolis Alliance, College Park, Hateville, East Point, we can't be stopped. Let's stick together, guys. Well, you know, I have gotten to know this young man recently as a great leader, and his leadership over the Air Tropics Alliance has been refreshing. And then we have, I'm a fan of Auburn football, and so we had a good conversation over Auburn football. We have one of the finest leaders in the up-and-coming leaders, or established leaders, but he's young, in the region, in Pedro Cherry. And on behalf of the Air Tropics Alliance, and behalf of Georgia Power, although we don't buy power from you, Pedro, we buy from College Park Power. we would like for you to come up and talk about the Air Tropics Alliance and how we can support the Air Tropics Alliance and your mission as one of the leading economic development organizations in the region for Georgia Power.
Well, I thought the pad was perfect until you told me you didn't buy power from us, but that's okay. I'm okay with that, Mayor. We're okay. We're okay, Mayor. We're okay. We're okay. We're partners. Thank you, Rod. Good morning, everybody. So the Air Tropics Alliance, many people were in the room, as Dr. Gully mentioned just a little while ago, but our mission, our vision is to be the preeminent location for economic development in the southeastern United States. Now, we want to enhance the quality of life. We want to create a stronger, more vibrant economic future for all stakeholders in the Air Tropics area. So when you think about the PAD, this mixed use, live, work, and play development, it embodies everything we have in our vision, in our blueprint. Like I said, we have several board members here, and Rod is on our board. On behalf of all of our board members, we are ecstatic to see this development. It is a sign of progress, and it is an early win for the Air Tropics Alliance. It's going to keep the momentum going, and we want to see more of these. We want to commend the partnerships and the alliances that it took to make the PAD a reality. So, Rod, congratulations. We look forward to working with you in many other capacities to keep this area growing. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your leadership. We got a note early this morning that Commissioner Emma Darnell from the Fulton County County Commission could not be with us because of some health issues, but we know that she's here in spirit, and we thank her for all of her support. Now, this thing would never have happened if we didn't have strong leadership that was steady at the mayor and council level. And, you know, we have a great group of folks who make doing business, you know, not easy, but reasonable. They're going to protect the interests and the integrity of what College Park stands for and what it can be. And leading that effort is the mayor, Jack Longino, who just won re-election recently.
Boy, and exciting. I'll tell you, it is tough sometimes, and dealing with Rod. One morning it's this way, and the next morning it's that way, Michael. You know how that is, don't you? I'm going to talk a little about a history. We hadn't built an apartment complex since Woodward Academy built Rugby Valley Apartments about 1968 or 69. So all that time has passed, and if you want to be in with what's going to happen, you've got to have living style as young men and women want it today. I believe, Rod, you have met that. I believe your team with Herman Russell and many others of your team have helped us to accomplish this. This is just a little bit about what you're going to see happen in College Park. Rod's got future investments here at this general vicinity. Everybody's heard about our new D-League, Development League, Atlanta Hawks. I think that's huge. Who ever thought that Atlanta Hawks would come to College Park to do a developmental league right at the Georgia National Convention Center? Talk a little bit further about that. College Park has been the partner with the City of Atlanta and Hartsfield-Jackson, and I believe it's about partnerships. Into the Hawks, most folks don't realize that the car rental money that Atlanta gets to spend on the arena comes from College Park. They wouldn't have it without the car rental facilities at Hartsfield-Jackson, which happen to be in College Park. We collect 3%, 2.5% goes to Atlanta. So we have been Atlanta Hawks partners for more than 20 years. I think that's huge. So I think it's all about what we do if we want great things to happen with the great mayor and council that we have in this city working together for great accomplishments like this and many others. We're going to see new business partners, we're going to see new residential, and we're going to see the swing of times going up and not down in the entire region, but especially in College Park. So Rod, thank you and your team for believing in College Park and bringing this tight development here, because I believe this is what's going to make it work. Without people, things aren't very exciting. So thanks to everyone who's believing in College Park. Thank you, Rod.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Well, you know, the mayor, he has responsibility for the whole city. So he has to kind of weigh the wards, and that's good. It's important. We got to have somebody looking over the whole city. But we needed somebody looking over our interests, and that mayor and city council. And that person looking over our interests was our councilman for this area, Councilman Tracey Wyatt, and he was tenacious. And you know what? He would come by and he said, "Rod, how's it going?" I said, "It's going." He said, "Well, keep going, Rod. Keep going." And you know, Tracey and I share something in common. We are both early risers. So anybody who got an email from me at 5:30 in the morning, they know I'm an early riser. And I could call Tracey and he'd be right up there with me. So, so we share that kindred spirit of getting it done. I want to bring up the councilman for this area, Councilman Tracey Wyatt.
Thank you, Rod. Well, all I'm going to say is that about you, Rod, there's some things been said. I'm going to say that, you know, when sometime development come, they always come to the city and see what the city can give them. This man didn't come ask us for a whole lot. He just said, "I want to do a project." Now, I don't know if that's good or bad, Mike Russell, but I'm just saying, the guy came in and he wasn't asking the city for an arm and a leg. And not only that, as a senior council member, I've seen a lot of projects potentially come to College Park. And this is one of the projects I can tell you, since I've been on council, this man has done what he said he's going to do, and he did it when he said he was going to do it. And I'd appreciate that about owners and business leaders when they come to this city and tell us what they're going to do. So thank you for that. I'm proud to be the councilman for this area, but let me tell you something. Without the mayor, Councilman Clay, Councilman Kern, one vote can't get anything done. We're a great team. And so I thank them for their support. And I'm extremely proud it's in my ward. You talked to Dr. Gully came up earlier, who happens to be Woodward Academy, which is in Ward 3 as well. Yes, sir, I got the tree calls, doctor. So thank you. Not only that, I'm proud to see that the pastor came up and spoke earlier for the First United Methodist Church. I'm just bragging. That's in Ward 3 too. We've heard a lot of talk about the airport. Can y'all tell me what ward the airport is? So thank you. But look, I just want to say thank you. Not only that, but you know, mayor and council often get a chance to come up here and talk. But it's our economic development director, it's our fire chief, it's our police. Those are the folks who really, really deserve some credit and working and getting things done. Yeah, we may sign off on them, but we don't do the work and we don't go through the hard process of making sure it's right. So I want to get hats off to our staff as well, under the leadership of Terrence Moore, who have done an excellent job. So thank y'all. And y'all, Ward 3 folk, all this pool, y'all see, can I get a little discount so I can move in over here?
what I love about Councilman Wyatt is that he has a big heart, and but he's a hard worker. And being a hard worker, he respects hard work. And he just gave a shout out to Terrence Moore and his staff. And he talked about Joe Carnes and Ambrose Clay. And I got to tell you a story about Ambrose Clay. We hired a acoustical engineer, because I don't know if you know that we're next to the airport. And we designed an acoustical engineer to reduce our noise per the FAA regulations that's been adopted by the mayor and council as their zoning ordinance. And on the day we had our acoustical engineer, Roger Dix from Dix Cape, come out under the leadership of Lester Love and his team, who came out to our site but Ambrose Clay. It is not in his district. And you know what? He wanted to check Roger out and make sure his equipment was appropriate, it was properly calibrated, and and it was. And so it was because of that attention to detail with the triple pane glass windows and the extra insulation and the extra drywall particle walls and the film that you see on here, that we've been able to achieve using technology, something that most people won't even know they're next to the airport. And I want to thank Councilman Clay. I want to thank Councilman Carnes, who is an advocate for economic development. But more importantly, I want to thank my partner. Terrence and I have been working together since the FAA. I think you got here about a week or two, and I got hoisted upon you at that time. But we've put together a great working relationship, so much so when I have investors to come to town, I take them over to Terrence's office.
A principal function of both your tenacity and persistence, as many have.
But more importantly, I want to thank my inspectors, William Moore. I want to thank Oscar Hudson and Karen and Sabrina, Chief Steele from the fire department. I want to thank all of the folks who were in here ensuring that the people of College Park got a quality product. If I left anybody out, please forgive me. I had a great team and we put together. It started with my second mother, my professional mother, Aisha Mustaqim, who is our attorney, and we closed probably about 6 deals together, Aisha, and she has faith in me, and she said, you can do it, keep pushing. Then it went on to our capital partners. We have one of our limited partners here, Alex, who flew down from New York. I'm not sure if we have any other investors in the house with us. Romel, obviously, our capital partners. I think I saw Jim Self from New Banks in the house, and our team over at Atlanta Capital Bank. It's pretty, amazing when people give you $16.4 million and say we let you pay it back in 2 or 3 years. Thank you. And then we went on to our construction management team. And our design team, Barry and Chris, could have done it without you. Lester, Rowan, Amani. Amani, you did a fantastic job. Amani designed this. They took a concept called the Hotel Rouge, a Kempton Hotel, and they turned it into this. Amani and Stephanie and Melissa on the interior design team. You guys are amazing, translating words and a vision into concrete, wood, paint. And I also want to thank my partner, who we've been together since 2012. First deal we worked on together didn't close in 2012. He said, well, let's try something else. And 2013, it closed. Second deal we worked on together in 2014 That closed, but the deal at 2012 didn't close. Then we said, let's go to work together on the pad, and that closed, but that deal at 2012 didn't close. And so, believe it or not, that very first deal that we started working on in 2012 finally closed in October the 4th. So Jerome, my partner, we've been together since 2012. We're batting 100, buddy.
All righty. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Again, honored to be here. I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting us in this endeavor for the pad. Rod is correct. Rod's a friend. Okay. Over the years, we have looked at a lot of different projects. Everything, as he has said, we've closed. Now, don't get me wrong, we've had challenges, and many times where I thought whatever we were working on was going to blow up. But we persevere, and I think that's that persistency in him. I want to just thank the team. I mean, doing a project like this is not easy. And in order to do it, you have to do it for team, and you have to be consistent in meeting with your team. So we had weekly conference calls from the beginning all the way through. So I see Yasmin, of course, Barry. I don't know if Charles is here. Chris. I just want to thank all of you. Rod, of course. Romel would be on some of the calls. That we couldn't have achieved this without everybody coming together. Rod, we've talked about it. He's been a great partner. I'm looking forward to doing more projects with him because a lot of y'all talked about his vision, his tenacity, his persistency. The other big thing that we talk about a lot right now is speed, is being able to move these projects forward. Focus, discipline, and consistency is all trademarks of this partnership. And we are blessed to be here in this region. The airport, as I call it, is the economic engine. It's the economic beast of this region. And we always knew that the fundamentals of this project was strong when you have between all the indirect and direct jobs over 100,000 jobs within a half a mile of this project. So we're really excited about it. And I just want to sincerely say thank you for being here, supporting us in what you're doing. And what we're going to do now? Okay. Okay, you want me to turn it back over to you? Okay, Rod. It's Rod's persistent Rod. I've turned it back over to Rod, but thank you.
I call this a faith walk. And, sometimes when you have a faith walk, you don't see where you're going all the time. But I want to bring somebody up who were my eyes when I couldn't see. Yasmin Murray, come on up here, because this has grown to be my development partner day to day. And you had kept me out of trouble in ways that I didn't know. So Yasmin is a lawyer by training, and she is also the risk manager for H.J. Russell and Company. But she is the person who I trust implicitly on this development team to make sure that my speed does not make a misstep. And so we wouldn't have done it without your leadership, without you being the bad cop when I was a good cop, and the shared vision with me, Romel, and Jerome, and Michael. And I also want to let you know that when I started this was extremely hard, And some people just believe in you because of you. There are three types of relationships. There are constituents, there's comrades, and there's confidants. There's constituents are for you when you're for something they're for. Comrades are for you when you're against something they are against. And there are confidants who are just for you just because. And the person who didn't know what I was doing, didn't know why I was going back to Harvard and spending $50,000, but it was with me just because, was my mother, Rose Mullice. And through all of this, I want to say thank you.